Hi guys, welcome back. So Eddie Jones picks his England side to face Italy, and following their terrible performance against Scotland, there were going to be some changes in this England side, but how many is the question? Well, the big cut comes in the front row. Whole front row changed. At loosehead, Mako comes straight in. Now, very experienced, Mako's a great player, but it is a risk because he hasn't played for Saracens and he's coming back off an Achilles injury, which is really tricky, especially when you're putting a lot of force through it, say in the scrum. It's a risk for sure to start him, so I was a little surprised, but it's, a big, negative for the starting front row. Genge there dropping out, and they're bringing in the risky Mako Vunipola straight off his injury, having not played. Cowan-Dickie, however, is not a risk. Straight in, been playing great for Exeter for ages, consistent excellence, he's fit, he's ready to go. And George really dropped his first poor game for ages last week, so here's a big chance for him. Can he get in there? He's in his prime, so now's a good time to try and make a stake for being number one. And then we've got the band, Kyle Sinclair, straight back in. He should be match fit, little layoff, but shouldn't be a problem. So that's a fair positive. Stewart dropping to the bench, who I thought was the most impressive of the front rowers last week. And Williams going back to his club, so that's tough for him. Second row wise, I had changed in Courtney Laws into the second row for Johnny Hill. Jones is sticking with Itoje and Hill as the pairing. And I'd like to see that pairing go again, so that's fair enough. Give them some more time, that's fine. But in the back row, Billy Vunipola stays, he survives, and it's Wilson that drops out. Now, I'm not surprised Wilson dropped out because he wasn't that impressive last week. Laws has been a go-to guy when he wants a big dominant pack. Very tough on Ben Earl, on Jack Willis, but from the comments Eddie's made in the week, he wants to row back a little bit and go back to basics if that's possible with England, because I didn't think they got very far with their attacking game, but he thought they concentrated too much on their attacking game. Considering they only had 2 or 3 attacks, I'm not so sure. But anyway, he's gone for his big dominant pack, and that means Courtney Laws at 6. Try and sort out that line out as well. So there's some logic there. Curry is the survivor at 7. Now Billy stays at 8. He was rubbish last week, essentially. He wasn't match fit. And I've said in my comments that, he doesn't like training. And that's just from Billy's mouth himself. That's not me just kind of guessing it. He doesn't like training. He's better getting his match fitness through matches because that's where he's motivated to do it. Is that a good use of caps? I don't know. Using up Six Nations games to get someone fit who hasn't been able to get themselves fit themselves, I'm not so sure. He's a good player. When he gets back up to full fitness, I'm sure he's going to be very effective, but I'm a bit so-so on that one. But no, lucky for him, he's got Eddie in his corner, so he's going to have to come up with the goods. Can he gain that fitness in a week? I'm not so sure, to be honest, but we'll see. At 9, Ben Youngs, no surprise there. What is a surprise is Robson retains on the bench. I was hoping for Randall, especially against Italy. Robson's got great form for Wasps. He's played fantastically for them. Very confident, but he hasn't been able to bring that confidence and that strut into the England fold, and I really need to see that when he comes on. Otherwise, I think Randall's going to be nipping at his heels. And remember, if Randall doesn't get a cap as well, Wales could still come and try and persuade him again. Now, unsurprisingly, George Ford does go into 10. Farrell was well off his game at 10 last week. Was he going to drop his captain? No, I had put him on the bench, but no, he probably wasn't ever going to be dropped. So he goes to 12, where he has probably played his best rugby for England anyway. Slade stays at 13. Now, the problem with that, of course, is that then you've got no size again, no power in the England backline. If they were going to play Farrell at 12, I would have preferred to see Lawrence or Adogwu at 13 to give them at least some sort of punch, because they retain their back 3, who are a little fortunate for all of them to retain their place. Again, it's quick, it's skillful, and if they get front foot ball, it could be, very decent, but they don't have that power option. And I thought Lawrence has done nothing wrong, he just hasn't been given much ball. Anyway, they're stuck with that back 3. They'll need a big game for sure. A little unlucky not for Malins to get a start, but Eddie Jones probably didn't want to change too many. In the replacements, or the finishers as Jones calls them, then we have the starting front row from last week on the bench. Charlie Ewels comes in as second row replacement. It's interesting to see, or will be interesting to see, if when they want to change up the second row or the back row, so they put Laws into second row and then bring on one of the two back rowers. Because remember, playing George Ford and Farrell gives you the opportunity to play a 6-2 split with not being too short on backs cover. So Ben Earl and Jack Willis get in this 23, which is great. I hope we see them both. How they're all accommodated, how they're shuffled around, that'll be interesting. Robson I've mentioned, and Malins needs to get some game time, because I see a certain Freddie Stewart from Leicester creeping up on his heels and maybe getting into that fullback slot, and Malins will want to get himself certainly some game time in there to try and establish himself into the back three. Anyway guys, it's a very interesting side, some changes, some lucky to survive. Should be too much for Italy. You'd hope and expect England to be a lot better than they were last week. Well, they couldn't be much worse. They need a good performance. I think they're going to go back to basics. They're going to hit the set piece. They're going to play their kicking game. I don't think we're going to see anything super exciting, which is a shame. We can always live in hope. But let me know what you think of the side, and I will catch you next time.